So the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, just quit. And I'm trying to figure out if I had something to do with it.
Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process.
Now, last week I published a video, and we'll go ahead and play some clips about it here.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Trump just said Merry Christmas as well, and look what he said. He said, Governor Justin Trudeau of Canada, whose citizens are taxed too high, but if Canada was to become our 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. Sounds pretty good.
So is Canada going to become the 51st state? Let's talk about it on Azimuth podcast. My name is Barrett McNabb. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Plus, I don't even think it would be a good 51st state. I think you would split those up into 9 states and then have them integrate, because that would be one huge state. But how did this happen? Well, Donald Trump has been talking about tariffs and is talking about levying tariffs 25% on both Mexico and on Canadian goods. Obviously, both countries are like, hey, what's going on? Trump is doing this because this has been an unfair trade imbalance for the United States, where the United States has trade deficits with multiple countries. The biggest one is China. But still, when he said that he was going to slap a tariff on the Canadian goods, Justin Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago to talk to Trump. And just as a, joking, he called him governor. And said, you could be the 51st state. And it became this little running joke, and Trudeau went back to Canada. But then he kind of lambasted Trump on the idea of the 51st state and not the idea of tariffs. And Trump tweeted back either on his True Social or on X, I don't recall which one, but said, hey, calm down, Governor Trudeau. And so that kind of, got this thing going. So let's talk about this on Azimuth podcast. My name is Barrett McNabb, and this would be crazy. Now, I know I didn't have anything to do with Justin Trudeau quitting, but it was funny that I had just published this video. It got a lot of views for my videos, a lot of views, and a lot of comments from Canadians who were really angry that I made the video and had a lot of nasty things to say about Kevin O'Leary. But this was all revolving around Canada becoming the 51st state, and the fact that Trump has threatened to put a 25% tariff on Canada and Canadian goods unless some certain stipulations are met. So Justin Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago and talked to President Trump, and he said, hey, look, this would be great. You could be the governor of the 51st state. And it was all in good jest. Again, the comments were pretty hysterical because I figured this wasn't going to happen. But a lot of Canadians had a lot of hate for even the assumption that could possibly happen. But I would also have to say that a lot of Canadians were positive and could not wait to be part of the United States as well. So, here we have a Justin Trudeau that's resigning. And honestly, it's kind of amazing to see, how this would happen. So Trump on his Truth Social posted this, and I'm going to read it verbatim. So him reacting to Trudeau quitting. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the United States, there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. And again, I got a lot of hate from Canadians, but I got a lot of positive from Canadians as well, and a lot of positive from Americans saying, understanding how great this would be for both nations to do this. So, but let's talk about why Justin Trudeau quit. He quit because he was about to go through a vote of no confidence, and he knew he was going to lose. He knew he was going to lose, and so this way he gets to leave versus being pushed out. And that's an important distinction to understand, is that he'll be able to tell himself in the mirror that he quit, he resigned, and he was not forced out of his position. And that's going to be, important for, I guess, his self-esteem and his ego. But, a lot of the comments in that last video, and I highly encourage you to take a look at it as well, but a lot of the comments in that last video talked about all the great work and stuff that Canada does and that he did, and they especially were talking about their medical care. It's socialized medicine, so it's nothing out of pocket. But similar to the UK, the wait times are horrific. It's not like you can just walk in, go get an open heart bypass surgery, and walk out. You've got to be on a list, and there are boards that can say whether or not you are deserving of the care. There's countless times in socialized medicine in England where a young child has a horrific disease, and there are experimental cures that could potentially save the child's life in other countries, whether it be in the United States or whether it be in the UAE. And English bureaucrats have decided that the child will not receive those health care that could potentially save their life. They have to die. And so that's one of the things that Sarah Palin was talking about in her and John McCain's presidential and vice presidential run were the death panels. If we went to socialized medicine, where bureaucrats would decide, who dies, who lives, and who gets the health care. So, but that was something that the Canadians in the comments really, really defended. But here's some things that they kind of left out. Do you remember the time when the truckers in Canada were protesting and they were not moving goods around because they wanted some conditions met? And what did the Canadian government do? They seized the private bank accounts of these individuals in order to force them to stop protesting and to force them to get back into work. Okay, so you talk about freedom. That's not freedom. That's the truckers were protesting, and they were punished. They were punished for speaking out. And again, their private money in the bank accounts were seized and taken away from them in order to, starve them into submission and to no longer protest and to get back to work, moving, equipment and foodstuffs around the nation. I mean, that's just, Justin Trudeau did that. That's not a free country. I mean, he wasn't on the side of that. And then also, if you remember, the pastor who wanted to pray and had an arrest warrant out, and just for exercising what we would consider our First Amendment right of free speech, gets arrested and has an international warrant. And as soon as he touched down in Canada, the police met him at the plane and arrested him, because he wanted to speak his mind. I mean, that's not a free society, and Justin Trudeau did that. They had a shooting that occurred, and so Justin Trudeau took away all handguns. Just said, we're just taking everything away, the rifles and high capacity or standard capacity handgun magazines, and they just did that. So this is what Justin Trudeau is doing, and the people of Canada are rebelling. That's why he's losing so much support. When they knew that, or he knew that he would not be able to survive this ongoing 25% tariff dispute. He's said, hey, look, we're ready to do this thing. We'll take our lumps, and the economy would not survive. His finance minister quit because he was trying to take this hardline stance, and she was like, look, we don't have the reserves and the economy in order to just weather that storm, so you need to negotiate, and he wasn't willing to do so, and so she quit. Now, interestingly enough, she's in the running for to be the next prime minister. There's a number of people that are waiting in the wings and try and take this out. But the Conservatives honestly need to step up their game and make sure they push these liberals out and down to where they need to go. The experiment is over. You're hurting your country. There's inflation. You're about to get 25% tariffs on your goods, which you won't be able to manage that. And it's because of these trade disparities that we have. I mean, President Trump or President-elect Trump isn't doing this just to be mean. The United States is at a trade deficit with a number of countries, and it's time to right the ship. One of the, I think it was a G7 meeting, or was it a G10? I don't recall. But it was during year 2 of his administration. And he was talking about the tariffs, and he was going to, slap tariffs on other products, and everyone was like, "Well, that's not fair. You shouldn't have these tariffs." And he said, "Well, what if we get rid of tariffs altogether?" And of course, Macron, the French president, threw his hands up and that's not that's a non-starter. Merkel, the previous German chancellor, threw her hands up and said that's not practical as well. But Trump is doing this to help the United States. He's not the president of the world. He's not the president of North America. He's going to be the future president, again, of the United States of America, and that's the whole purpose of the America First MAGA movement, is we need to decide what's best for our country, just like other countries do for themselves. They look out for their own interests first, and then if they can align with good economic policies, with have military alliances and things like that, they do that. But you look out for your own citizens first, and then you look out for everybody else. I mean, it's similar to what my mother used to tell me. Do the things you have to do before you do the things you want to do. Justin Trudeau knew that he was going to get pushed out in a vote of no confidence, and he saw the writing on the wall. He saw how unpopular he is. I mean, he has an over 60% disapproval rating. All right. I want to say it's 64% disapproval rating. That means the vast majority of people in Canada do not think he is doing a good job. And how can people think you're doing a good job when you're stealing the private money and seizing bank accounts from people that dare to speak out against you, the truckers, and then also the thought police and the speech police for a pastor talking about religion? And having an international arrest warrant put out for him, and then having police meet him as soon as he lands, and then taking him into custody. That's exactly what Russia does. If there is a political dissident, Russia seized them as soon as he landed. So the similarities are crazy. But still, this was breaking news. Leave me a comment below whether you think Justin Trudeau should have stayed in power and see if he could survive the vote of no confidence, or if he did the right thing. But it was uncanny that I put this video out, and it got some views, and I got a lot of comments and everything. And then within 4 days, the Prime Minister of Canada resigns. And so you just things should make you go, was it my video that did that? Now, again, I know it wasn't, but still it was a funny coincidence in order to make this video for this breaking news. So thanks so much for tuning into Azimuth Podcast, and please stay tuned after these messages.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our show with all the stories we share, we would love your support.
And it's as easy as clicking that subscribe or follow button. This will ensure you never miss an episode and keeps us bringing you these important stories. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast family.
Thanks, and keep tuning in.